version of the Cliff Note version. All righty, here we go. I'm Jeffrey Payne, and I cannot wait to work for you as your next governor. I'm going too far away. You ready? Go. I'm reclaiming my time. A little bit about me. I was born in Maine at age 3. My mother passed away, and my father brought us to Louisiana. At age 5, I went to the orphanage. At age 15, I went into the foster care system. I then worked for the Department of Labor as a mediator, where people come in and they are not happy with each other, but you come to an agreement. I did that for years. And believe me, we handled so many cases, from birthday cake, yes, that was a dispute, all the way to actual employment discrimination. But you had to bring people together, and you had to come to an agreement, and that's what we need in government. Everyone deserves a right at the table. We just need to start speaking to each other with respect instead of hating on one another and creating a divide. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. I moved to Dallas. When I came here with $2,000 in my pocket and my 2 dogs. That was it. Texas has been good to me. I now own 5 businesses and 3 nonprofits. Texas was good to me, and when I was growing up in the orphanage, 2 women were very important in my life. One was Miss Lonnie. She was our cook, and she taught me the second most important thing I ever learned, and that was, if you're going to cook something and you want it to taste good, you better add bacon grease. The most important thing I learned when I was growing up was from Miss Peggy. She raised me, and she said, Jeffrey, in life, it is not what you get out of life, it's what you give back. And that is why I'm running to be your governor, because it's time that I gave back. I cannot do any more marches. I cannot write any more letters. I can't protest anymore. It was time to step up and get it done. And very quickly, there are 3 things I want to tell you about me. 1, I own a bar. That's one of my businesses. 2, I am gay and I am married, and yesterday was my first wedding anniversary. And 3, I also like to wear leather. But I want to remind you that the last governor who put on leather, sat on a Harley, and put herself on the front of Texas Monthly was Ann Richards. The only difference is she wore white leather, I wear black leather. Top 3 issues: education, healthcare, and women's rights. And I think my time is up.
Thank you very much. Also, I understand your 50th birthday today.
Yes.
Yes. All right, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Adrian, what magic are you bringing in 2018? Let's try to stay to 2 minutes.
We'll try to stay 2 minutes.
All right.
My name is Adrian Osegueda. Just a little bit about me very briefly. I am a father of 2. I have a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. I have my wife, Araceli, who's a bilingual kindergarten teacher. And so I look to her as an inspiration for me quite a bit of time. My undergraduate degree is in political economy with a minor in African American studies from Princeton University, and I have an MBA. Right after college, I went back to my hometown. I ran for office. I worked in economic development. I also had the privilege of working for a mayoral administration. And then I went off to business school, and I've been working in private equity ever since. If you don't know what private equity is, you get a big pool of money and you try to buy a portfolio of companies. So the people I work with every day are CEOs and CFOs of medium-sized companies, and we try to make sure that, one, we're building value, but also maintaining employment for our companies. And usually when those companies start hitting rough patches, that's when they ask me to take over and start working with them. Because those negotiations and that kind of skill set is important to maintain our portfolio, but it's also important to make sure that those businesses remain viable. What is new about me? What is different about me? What's my magic? I talk about strategic change. I think that there are some short-term budgetary issues that we're going to have to address in our budgets, everything from education to infrastructure, finance, healthcare. All of those can be addressed with short-term Band-Aid issues, but even in the short term, we can start addressing those with long-term structural change. Structural change means the systems themselves have to be evaluated. So when you look at 10 years, 15 years, we're going to have that discussion. It's a discussion that I believe the party that addresses structural change not just wins this election, but wins multiple elections into the future. I am looking forward tonight to have conversations with each of you, and I'm going to be here for as long as it takes to answer all of your questions about my candidacy. But I ask you to understand that there are more than 2 people in this race, and so please evaluate all of us, because we are here to serve you, bring our skill set to serve you and to bring solutions, not just for this generation, but our past generations, and obviously for my children and future generations. Thank you very much.
Joe. Mamba.
Yeah.
Joe Mamba. Let's hear it for Joe Mamba. What magic are you bringing in 2018?
Oh, I got lots of voodoo to do. First of all, I'm 68 years old. I've never run for political office before. This was not on my bucket list. I saw so much mess going on in Washington and Austin. I couldn't stand on the sidelines anymore either. We talk about tax reform, fixing the schools, women's rights, health care, all these things we got to do. And when you talk about magic, I want us Texans to get back to being Texans, doing the things that nobody's done before, doing them bigger and better. And that's who we are. We're the Wildcatters, we're the pioneers, and I've got 2 projects that I want us to do. It won't happen in the first 2 years, but we're going to do them. The first one is called the North American Water and Power Alliance. Sorry about that.
It's all right, your time's still going down.
Oh, man. Anyway, man, they're big. Sorry about that. Won't even quit. Is that one of you guys out there calling? Anyway, North American Water and Power Alliance is a plan put together back in the 1950s. It takes the snow melt off the mountains in Alaska, which now flows into the Pacific Ocean, and we build a channel all the way down across Canada and down into the southwest U.S., including West Texas, to provide water, fresh water for our people out there. There's lots of land, plenty of possibilities out there. All they need is water. So what we do is we grab about 5% of the snow melt out there, and we channel it down to West Texas and the southwest United States. That's a 20-year project. It's got 6 million jobs attached to it. The second one is a space-based solar energy system that we will do along with a consortium of other states. The idea is to put solar panels in space around the planet, and we gather it, we send it down on a microwave signal, and we provide electrical service from the sun. We can have these things all the way around the world, so that even when it's nighttime here in Texas, we're still getting solar energy. It's something nobody's ever done before, but we're Texans, and we can do it, and we will do it. Okay?
All right, what magic are you going to bring to 2018?
First of all, can y'all say real talk? Real talk. I need to hear more than that. Real talk. Real talk. There we go. That's what I bring to the table. We're going to have real conversations about what's going to make Texas better. First, I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about my background. I'm a 30-year veteran of law enforcement, a former police chief, a Desert Storm veteran, a mayor of Balch Springs, Texas, sat on the North Texas Super Bowl committee. I am now a public educator for Garland ISD. So I teach bright minds to go out and give their best to the next generation in society. So I'm very experienced. Actually, I believe I'm the most experienced in this race. But not just about experience, and I tell you that because the simple fact is, I am also a community activist. I get out and I protest with the teachers. I get out and protest with the firefighters and the airline stewards. That is what builds communities. I have been that person that's been on the ground to put the pipes in the ground, get the tax reduced, run an economic development. These are the things that it takes to govern. As police chief, I'm not governing because I have a governing body to answer to. As a sheriff, you're not governing. You have to answer to a governing body. So, with that said, I hope you take this ride with me because, like I said, I am a warrior for the people. I have always fought for people. At age 14, I got into politics because my mom was a precinct chair, a precinct judge. She gave me flyers. I worked on campaigns. At age 23, I ran my first campaign because I got the bug. I got the bug because I knew I had to help people. That was instilled in me. As a soldier, we learn we never leave anyone on the battlefield. So we always reach back and pull someone up. Like I said, Texas is about helping people up, not giving them handouts, but helping them up to get on their feet. We got to get back to that because the Republican Party, Democratic Party, they got to communicate, and that's what's not happening. So I am a bridge builder, and I guarantee you, if you give me the opportunity to become your next governor, guys, you're going to see a change in Texas in the first term. Just like I turned my city around from a C rating to a AA rating, from 300 million in value to over 800 million in value in the first term. The reason being because I surround myself with the people that has the mindset, the vision, and that knows how to go get it, because I am a go-getter. So if you give me that opportunity, I guarantee you, we all will benefit and we all will win. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to meeting every one of you.
Let's hear it one more time for all of our gubernatorial candidates. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce our congressional candidates.